Welcome back, investors. So, in the last session, which is the part two of our how our economy works session, so there we had discussed about the deleveraging. So, if you have listened to my session 18 and 19, wherein I have mentioned or explained in detail how our economy works in part 1 and part 2, this is our session 20, wherein we'll conclude our session on how the economy works, which is part 3. So, deleveraging can be overcome by mainly four ways. One is by cutting spending. So, that's like government, people, businesses, and uh, everyone concentrates on repaying the debt. So, that's like cutting the spending. So if the spending is controlled, you have something available with you for repaying the debt. The second option is by reducing the debt. So reducing the debt is like you will go with debt restructuring or some defaults through some defaults. So that is how you reduce the debt. And the third thing is redistribution of wealth, like from rich to poor, from haves to have nots. The wealth is redistributed by increasing the tax over the rich people, or many measures are taken by the government. Now, the fourth point is the central bank prints money. So, cutting spending actually leads to job loss, because if spending is cut, then the businesses will not spend. So if doesn't spend means there is less revenue, there is less capex. If there is revenue, then there is less expansion. Less expansion means there is lesser job opportunities. So the people lose job. So that is not desirable as such if viewed in isolation. Now the second one is reducing debt. So one is like borrowers default. So if the default is there, then it's like they are unable to pay back the debt. So bank assets, that is debt of borrowers, vanish, and the banks lose assets. So once the bank lose the asset because the borrower has defaulted on the borrowing, so the same bank will have depositors who has deposited their amount, say in FD or similar instruments in the bank. So they get panic and they think that as the bank has lost many of the borrowings as a default, the bank will not be able to repay the money on its maturity. So the depositors also get panic. So they get to the bank. So the banks get squeezed from both sides, because one side the borrowing defaults, and the other side the depositors asking for the money. So actually they have lost their assets, so they really don't have liquidity to repay the depositors. So bank gets squeezed, people and businesses all, and even the banks also gets default on the debts. This severe economic condition or economic contraction is called depression. So people realizes that much of the assets they had thought as their wealth is not actually there. Let's get back to our case of lemonade shop. The lemon juice was bought on credit on a promise to pay back later. If I if I pay back that debt later, then actually that debt, if you see, is an asset of Lemonade Guy. So if I am defaulting on my debt, like if I am not paying him back that amount which I am supposed to pay on a later date, so if I tell that, or even if I don't go to the lemonade shop itself and I don't repay that amount, then the asset of that lemonade guy just disappears. So he has nothing, he's not getting anything in return for the lemon juice he had given me. So he has lost his asset. So his asset disappears. So normally to avoid this, lenders go for debt restructuring. So this lemonade case I am taking again and again for you to simply understand the concept. It's not like the lemon juice which is hardly some 10-15 rupees. So I am not talking about that particular amount. It is just for you to understand the concept. So normally to avoid this, lenders go for debt restructuring. It's like either lenders gets paid back less, or the debt is paid back over a longer term, or even with a lower interest rate than the actual rate. So it's like the lenders will get something in return. Otherwise, if they are not restructuring it, they would not have got nothing, because the debt will go for a default. So that the lender's asset is not disappeared, like in the case of the lemonade guy. Even though in debt restructuring the debt disappears, the income and the asset value to disappear faster, so that the debt burden continues to get worse. So debt restructuring is also painful and deflationary. All of these affects the the central government, since the tax income of them goes down drastically. At the same time, it has to spend to eradicate the unemployment which has increased. Why this is? Because I again explained why unemployment is there in the last this thing. And also the tax, why it is going down, because the tax collection by central government goes down because there is no much spending. So if there is spending, then only government can tax for the spending. So if spending itself is low, so there is no much tax collection. And also, if there is no spending, as I explained, then there is no business expansion, there is no employment, so unemployment. So government has to take care of the unemployment as well. So at the same time, so the government, it has to spend to eradicate unemployment. The government has to come up with stimulus plans to revive the economy. You must have seen or read in newspapers, or even you must have heard the news, like in COVID times also, as the economy had gone down, government had come up with various stimulus plans of various lakhs of crores to inject into the economy and revive the economy. So this is a typical case of that. Central government budget deficit goes up, since they spend more than their tax income, because deficit will go up because they are getting less as tax income, but they have to spend more for reviving the economy, as this stimulus stimulus plans. So government raises taxes on rich and get money from the rich to the needy. So that is the third thing which I had mentioned. But rich are reluctant to give away more and reduces spending. They reduces the spending plans. So this also won't help revive economy. So people become desperate in need of money. The central bank, having lowered its interest rate, near to zero is forced to print more money. So that's the fourth option. Unlike all the other three measures, printing money is inflationary in nature. Unlike the other three which are deflationary. The printed money out of thin air is used by the central bank of that nation to buy financial assets like stocks and government bonds. In 2008, this has happened. So the financial assets go up in value because they are buying, and those who hold financial assets gets money in return for selling those assets. But note that central bank can only buy financial assets, and that those who hold financial assets will be benefited from them. The financial assets go up in price and makes the holders creditworthy again. On the other hand, central government can buy both goods and services and put money in the hands of people, but can't print money. So to simulate the economy, the two must cooperate. That is the central bank and the central government. Central bank being printing the money and central government being buying the goods and services. So by buying government bonds, the central bank, with the money it printed, lends money to the government, that is the central government, allowing it to run a deficit. Increase spending on goods and services through its stimulus packages and programs, and on employment benefits. This will increase people's income, and same time it increases the government's debt level as well. However, it will lower the economy's total debt burden. This is a very risky time. Policymakers has to balance the four ways the debt burden comes down. So the deflationary ways has to balance with the inflationary measures. If balanced wisely, there will be a beautiful deleveraging. If done correctly in a balance, the income increases much beyond the debt repayment levels and results in an economical revival, putting it back on track in its growth path. So this ends the three parts of this topic, how our economy works. I hope you were able to understand the concepts. The major takeaways for you as an intelligent investor are the below three. Don't have debt levels rise faster than your income. Second one, don't have income rise faster than productivity, because eventually you become incompetitive. Do all that you can to raise your productivity. So I hope the three sessions on the topic how economy works has been insightful for you. See you soon on the next session. Happy investing.